Hello, my name's Karen Sandgrim and welcome to Christmas at Conquer Crochet, the channel for tips, tricks and techniques for conquering your crochet. So we are on day 22 of our advent calendar and it's nearly Christmas. I have one more make for you to do. This is something really quick and easy that you can whip up in a couple of days in the evenings, but it's something that will make your table look absolutely gorgeously crochet Christmas. And we are going to make some cutlery holders. So with these cutlery holders, there's a lovely simple pattern and it's called the linen or the moss stitch. Okay, it's a nice little pattern, very easy to do, but it looks very effective. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single stitch. Give me a thumbs up below. Let's do this. Okay, so to make the main body of our cutlery holder, I'm going to be using patterns 100% cotton DK. I think this is in the colourway denim. You can use whichever colours you want to. I wanted to use this colour so you'd actually be able to see it on the screen more easily. For my dinner table this year, I'm going to be doing them in white, but it was really tricky to try and see, so I've re-recorded the video, so we're going to do it in blue. I'm using a 4mm hook. I'm using my pair of scissors to snip off my ends, and I'm going to be using my needle to sew in the ends. So to start off, I'm going to make a slip knot. You can do that in whichever way you prefer. And I'm going to chain 14. Well, I'm going to try and chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that will be the height of my cutlery holder. You might want to make it shorter, you might want to have them slightly bigger if you wanted to make it more of a sort of pocket. For this stitch that we're using, the linen or the moss stitch, you must have an even number of chains in order for the pattern to actually work. So I've chained 14. I'm now going to go into the second chain from my hook. So there's the first one. Here's the second one, and I'm going to do a double crochet into that second chain, and then I'm going to chain 1. We're then going to skip this stitch here, and we're going to work into the next chain, and again we're doing a double crochet and chaining 1. Skip the stitch, double crochet, oops, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and we come to the last chain on the hook, and we're just going to do a double crochet in there. And that's the first row done. So it's double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch all the way along. And that's what it is for the whole pattern. But you need to make sure that we're going into the right spaces when we do the next line. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. So we need to be working into the chain space that was made and not into the double crochets. So I'm going to go into this chain space here. So that was the double crochet. You can tell by where you have the 2 lines here of yarn, that's from the double crochet stitch. So we're going to go into the chain space and we're going to double crochet and chain 1. We skip the next stitch where you can see you've got these 2 lines here. We're going into this chain space here, so into there, double crochet, chain 1, into this chain space here, oops, double crochet, chain 1, skipping that stitch there, into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, skipping the stitch you have here, into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, skipping the stitch you have here, into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, skipping the stitch, and we're going into the top. See this V here, we're going to go into that stitch there with a double crochet, making sure we go through both of those loops. It's really important, otherwise you won't have the strength in your fabric. And there we have row 2. So we chain 1, and we're going into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, into the chain space. So it's always after those 2 lines from the double crochet is where the chain space is. Chain 1, after the 2 lines, into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, after the 2 lines, insert, double crochet, chain 1. There's your 2 lines here, so into the chain space here, chain 1, there's your double crochet stitch, into the chain space, chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet into the last stitch, if it'll let me. There we go. So you can see how the pattern's building up here. So I did 25 of these rows to get one of my crochet holders. So I will see you back at row 25, or however long you'd like yours to be. So we've made our crochet holders, and I've made a couple in some different colours here. So I have a white one and I have a blue one. And I thought it would be fun to add on some of the motifs that we've made over the last couple of weeks to just give it a bit more of a Christmassy feel. So we could add the star onto one, and then I have my holly that I'm going to add onto the white one. I have a white tablecloth that has holly on it, so that's really appropriate for mine, the right way around. And again, if you wanted to, you could do it with pom-poms to give it a bit more glitter, a bit more pizzazz, or you might want to do it with the shiny berry that we used in the holly video. I'll put a link to the 2 videos for the stars and the holly, just in case you've missed those ones. But I think these look really sweet. Now you could, if you wanted to, sew up along the bottom here and maybe put an after dinner mint in here or something, so it's more of a favour rather than just the cutlery holder. But I think these look really sweet. So if you had your cutlery and maybe your napkin through the middle there, that would look rather nice. So that's how to make your own cutlery holders or napkin holders for your Christmas table. As I showed you in the video, you could add on your stars that you made last week. You could add in the holly from the week before, and if you've missed those videos, I'll put the link up in the cards so you could go back and have a look. You could just add some nice little festive pom-poms. You might just want to keep them plain because it's such a gorgeous stitch, the linen, or the moss stitch as it's sometimes called. Don't forget, we are on day 22 of our Advent calendar. We're very nearly at Christmas. There are lots of things on my Facebook page or on Instagram that you can have a look at. Lots of freebies for you to go and download. And also, when you're downloading the freebies, if you want to click to my newsletter, that would be really good, because then you really won't miss out on any of the other freebies that I'm giving. Quite often I just give things out to my newsletter and not out on social media. So you need to be in it to win it. So if you're lucky enough to be given some money this Christmas, don't forget to have a look at my Conquer Crochet Gifts and Gadgets Guide for crocheters. There are lots of ideas in there for things that you can buy for yourself that will help your crocheting life that much easier. There are 2 videos on screen now for you to have a look at to help you on your crochet journey. And thank you so much for joining me today. Have a very Merry Christmas and happy hooking!